Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a holiday episode of Conversations. You didn't think that Go Pro Wrestling would leave you guys high and dry during the holidays, did you? This week, I'm Noel DiMaggio, joined by Michael Sesko and the most marketable man in wrestling, Richard Holliday. Richard, thanks for coming on the show.
Guys, I am genuinely excited about this conversation. Especially, how apropos is it that you have Richard Holliday during the holiday season? And we have a Christmas tree.
That was the point.
We do have a Christmas tree.
The ambiance
We have a Christmas tree in the stock market.
It's glorious. The ambiance here is perfect.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it, Rich. Let's talk about what got you hooked on professional wrestling. When did you become a fan in pro wrestling?
Oh man, it's my whole life. I remember my earliest memories of watching wrestling was probably like late '97, early '98. My father was watching, Monday Night Raw. Like everybody was watching it. Like any demographic was like super into wrestling at that point. 100%. It didn't really matter who. So my father was probably like early 40s at the time, was watching it. And I just started watching it. My brother was watching it at the time. And I just remember who really stuck out to me was Kane and The Undertaker. Those two characters, which like if you look at me now, like you would never think that I was like inspired by Kane and The Undertaker, but I was. So those guys really got me like entrenched in it. And then there used to be, so I'm from New Haven. Mm-hmm. There used to be the New Haven Coliseum, which was a really historic building. WWE used to come there all the time. They knocked it down in like 2001, which is a huge shame, but I used to go to that arena all the time. Monday Night Raw, I used to come there at least once a year. So those are my earliest memories, just like getting into it and just always watching it, and it never really left me. For a couple of years it did.
I think everybody went out of that phase where they stopped watching for a few years, and it was like that weird period of wrestling.
Ruthless aggression.
Ruthless aggression. So you were WWF, not WCW, or did you flip back and forth?
I never flipped.
Never?
I never watched WCW. I couldn't even tell you what channel it was on.
TBS and TNT.
I could tell you now. But back then, I couldn't even tell you what channel it was on. I didn't even know about it. Like, really? I started to learn about WCW when the angle started happening. When the invasion started happening, I was like, oh, there's another company?
So you had no idea there was 2001.
A war.
Yeah, man, I was like, I never went and got WCW tapes. Like, but wasn't my thing.
Did you do that later on once you started wrestling? Did you go back and start looking at older WCW stuff? And
Nope. No.
I did. I seen WCW. I knew what it was, but I same kind of thing. I never went back and I don't go to the network and be like,
no,
let me watch Nitro from
never.
1990.
I was one of those kids. I had a two TVs set up with two VCRs, and I would tape record both shows, swap between both, and watch them. I was crazy.
I caught a couple things with WCW, but mostly I was WWF as well.
It's our whole area is WWF for the most part. WWE.
So what was it about Kane and Undertaker that really made you gravitate towards them?
When you're 5 or 6 or 7, those guys were legitimately scary. Yeah. And they were just so different. Like you couldn't see that anywhere else. You couldn't see a guy like Kane, 7 feet tall. Red's my favorite color, so I was instantly attracted to it. So with the mask and the hair and everything about Kane, and then just the perfect, foe in The Undertaker. It was just that storytelling there with Paul Bearer and the graveyard scenes and everything, and the flame, everything, dude. I don't want to tell you about the Inferno match that I had when I was 6 years old.
Please tell us about the Inferno match.
You can't mention it and not bring it up.
All right. Yeah, I did.
Your parents know about the Inferno match?
I set myself up. My whole family knows about this Inferno match.
Is there footage?
There's no footage. Also, no fire hazards. Thank God, because the flames were fake. Because I drew them on pieces of paper. Okay. Flames, enough to cover, the bottom of a wall. And I went downstairs and asked my brother to have an Inferno match.
That's great.
And he didn't have it because he was a little bit older and he thought I was an idiot. So I didn't get to have the Inferno match, but I wanted it.
You had a solo Inferno match.
I had a solo Inferno match. I did.
Maybe a broom or a teddy bear or something you could have?
A mop.
Nah, I just said, I'm just going to light myself on fire like Kane and then go upstairs. I feel like an idiot at this point. So.
Did you ever venture into the world of backyard wrestling?
Never.
No. Ever want to?
Nope.
No desire.
No desire.
When did you start thinking about actually getting into wrestling as something that you wanted to do?
So, like I said, I stopped watching wrestling senior year in high school. So probably up to that point, I was very kind of like 1 foot in, like I want to be a professional wrestler. But like then you start learning about like, oh, I got to go to college and like these actual like real jobs, and it's just like maybe I'll do that. So then like I'm like 17 at the point. So wrestling's not really like on the forefront of my mind. Just think about what's going through the head of a 17-year-old guy in high school. So then I started getting more into football. I played football my whole life, but I started getting more into it. Then I ended up playing football at the University of New Haven for 2 years. I stopped watching wrestling then. But during like the latter part of my time at UNH, I started to get back into it. I was in the middle of a 2-a-day. I had a morning practice. I got to go back to my dorm. And then I got on the laptop, and I was just going on YouTube, just rummaging through videos, just trying to pass the time for my next practice.
Right.
And I stumbled upon the CM Punk pipe bomb.
Okay.
So I didn't get to see that live. I wasn't part of that whole come up when CM Punk started doing all that. I just saw the video, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. Like, wrestling hasn't done anything like that in years since when I first started watching it.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing controversial like that. So I slowly started getting back into the product, and then at like some point it just, like I was playing football and I was just like, dude, like I'm not going to the league. Like I played offensive line.
I was about to say, what'd you play?
I played offensive line.
Okay.
So I was
Scholarship or you just?
Not on a scholarship, no. I walked onto the team.
Okay.
Division II school. So they were like a top 5 Division II school in the country. But football wasn't my calling. It wasn't going to be my end game, especially as a 6'3", 230, playing offensive line, like you're not going nowhere, buddy. But I ended up saying, you know what? Like, I'm going to be into wrestling. Like, I'm going to go do this. Like, screw it. Didn't know how to get into it. And I'm starting to research schools. And I'm like, all right, there's a school in New York. There's a school in Jersey. I'm like, damn, like, I'm not moving. What am I going to drive to practice every day? Like, I got to go how many times a week? Like, how am I possibly going to do this? And then, sure as that, Paul Roma opens up a school 2 blocks from my house. 2 blocks. So I said, I'm going to be a wrestler. And it's history from there.
So let's go back a little bit more, though. With high school, did you play any other sports besides football? Or
I wrestled.
Wrestling? Okay.
I wrestled for 1 year, freshman year.
How'd you like that versus?
Hated it. I was absolutely terrible.
No baseball?
No.
I don't know. I can see you as a baseball player.
Baseball is my favorite sport.
Okay.
Baseball is my favorite sport.
But you never
Yankees
played
your
it.
favorite team?
Yankees are my favorite team. Without a doubt. I'm a diehard New York Yankee fan. And I wish I could be good at baseball. It just wasn't my thing. The mechanics weren't developed for me. I'm pretty good. Like, football is my sport. I'm pretty good at basketball. I think I dabbled in track or something like that. But football was my thing for the most part.
How were you school-wise, grade-wise?
Very run-of-the-mill.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the pack.
Got through.
Yeah, I'm not impressing anybody with my report card. I'm a bare minimum,
Stay in school.
C's get degrees kind of guy. That was my mentality.
Not anymore, though.
Not anymore. No.
So besides obviously the distance thing, was there anything else that helped in your decision to choose Paul Roma's school? I mean, did you know who Paul Roma was? Did you know, obviously Mario Mancini runs it with him, and a few other former people that worked for the big time.
Yeah, I mean, I had heard of the names. I wasn't like overly knowledgeable about their history and about their past. But the owner of the school, his name is Big Steve Tracy. So Big Steve is a longtime family friend of mine. Okay. Me and his son go way back. Like, I knew his son since he was in a crib. So he always knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler. Now, Big Steve was Dave Paradise in WWF back in the early 80s.
Yep.
He ended up linking up with Roma and Mancini because they're all from this area, and they continued their friendship. So one day, Big Steve called up Mario and called up Paul and said, hey, listen, I got this one kid. Let's open up a wrestling school, see where we can take it. So
for one person.
They like to say that they opened up the wrestling school for me in specific, and if that's the case, thank you. But I would like to imagine that they did see some sort of potential, profitable business in this, and I can kind of be the inaugural person to get it going. But yeah, apparently the school was open up for me. So
Hey, I would take the credit.
Did you feel a certain level of pressure knowing that going into it?
yeah, I felt like, man, what if I don't like this? I'm like, what if I do this and I'm just like, oh man, you know what, not for me. Like, how much money did they invest? Like, can they get this money back? Like, they had a warehouse and they had a ring, and I'm like, man, I mean, this had to cost something. Like, I don't want to screw these people out of X amount of dollars, however much it was.
Yeah.
So I was just like, man, I better at least follow through for a little bit.
What did some of those early training days involve?
They involved me and Mario. On the first day, I ended up doing like some flip bumps. I ran the ropes a couple times. I did a couple different style bumps. And he was pretty much just like, yeah, you're a natural kid. And then he passed me right on to Roma. And then from there, it was a lot of one-on-one training with me and Roma.
So the day you walk in, first day, I know you said you kind of rolled around, but what was the feeling like walking in there the first day? Was it like, I know you said you were a little nervous because you felt like the school invested in you, but actually like walking into the building and being like, I'm actually going to do this. Like, how was that first day literally walking in there? Like,
it was like, I was like,
an emotional
a little
feeling?
taken back. Yeah, I was a little emotional.
How'd the first bump feel though?
Stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ring is very different now. But I remember getting in there and I was just like, man, like this has been my dream my entire life, and today is the first day of that dream. So I'm like, this is it. I guess I'm more than 1 foot in. Like I'm putting my toes in the water now. Like
And you said
I'm
it was
ready to
hands-on
dive
with
in.
Roma?
Yeah, it was hands-on with Roma.
How long did they have you, I guess, from the time you started to your, I guess, first match? I don't know, was your first match like at the school in a sense?
My first match was in South Bend, Indiana.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
So
I was with that powder blue trunks and the goatee?
Yeah, the powder blue trunks and the goatee, and I wrestled Guy Fieri. I'm just kidding.
Brian?
I wrestled Brian Costello, who's an amazing guy. I just had so many people comment and say, because he does resemble Guy Fieri.
Absolutely. Who's
but-
another ex-WWF guy, Brian.
Yes, yes. Yeah, and he linked up with Roma, so him and Roma have a great friendship. And I remember like 9 months after I started training, they called, Brian called Roma. I was like, hey, do you have any guys that want to come work? So me, Matthias, and Roma drove 14 hours to South Bend, Indiana. And I had my first match with a goatee and powder blue trunks.
Did you feel like the 9 months was, in that 9 months you were prepared to enter
No, I
that
wish
ring,
I had
or
9
you-
more months.
No? No?
Yeah, wish I had 9 more months. But at the end of the day, you kind of have to just learn by getting thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I went in there. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a deer in the headlights. The only thing calming me down was I was like, all right, these people are from South Bend, Indiana. I live in Connecticut. Like, I can bomb in front of these people, and like they'll never remember, and I'll never remember them. And hopefully the next time I come back to Indiana, I'll be halfway decent. So I was just like, whatever. Let me just go out there and do this.
Wow. I'm surprised your first match was in Indiana and not...
Here.
Was PAPW established at that time, or were they just a training school? When your
Just a
first
training
match?
school at that point.
So they hadn't run any
No.
shows on their own?
No, they hadn't run a show yet. The first show, I believe, was like a month later.
For PAPW?
Yeah.
And you were obviously
I was on the show, yeah.
on that. Did they right away want to treat you as like their featured star, and like kind of?
I think they did, but I kind of ruffled some feathers in my early stages. So my
With Paul or
with Paul,
Oh.
yeah. Me and Paul, I like to think right now have an amazing relationship,
Okay.
but it wasn't always like that.
Okay.
So, getting in the business at like 22 years old, I'm not like, my mentality was like, I'm not a young kid. I'm kind of a young adult at this point. So my mouth would get me in trouble sometimes. And I wasn't the most humble, I would say. I wasn't. When I first started, I made some mistakes, and I learned from them, and I was taught my lesson.
Who taught you the lesson?
Paul.
How did you go about doing that?
Paul, Mario, and Big Steve. So I had the first match in East Haven, and we were supposed to. It was me and Mario, And, I'm from East Haven. It's our first show in East Haven. I got a lot of family and friends there. And let's just say the finish of the match was supposed to be one thing, and 20 minutes before I go on, it's something different. And it was designed to teach me a lesson and humble me. And it did. Because I was humbled that day.
Lesson learned?
Lesson was learned.
Were there any, Mario's definitely an old school guy, Roma's definitely an old school guy. Were there any old school liberties taken during that match?
No. Mario would never do that to me. If I was in the ring with Roma at that point in our relationship, I don't know. I don't think he would have. Mario, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Paul, you've gotten to know him very well. I know you said, back then you didn't know him very well. So what was Paul then and what is Paul now? Is the personality different or just the relationship between you guys different?
His personality is not different at all. I had to learn it. I had to learn.
What is Paul Roma? Like, what's his personality?
Paul Roma is an enigma. Paul Roma is his own entity. Like, people who have never met him obviously have this perception of Paul. So it's always like, I always envisioned Paul to be a dick, or I always thought Paul was, this rugged guy. And to an extent, he is. But when you get on his good side, then, all of a sudden, he's the nicest guy in the world and he'll do anything for you.
Yeah, he's been nothing but, great with us, nice with us. He's come to our studio. We film stuff for him. We obviously film the GPW shows for him. He's, I have nothing bad to say personally about Paul.
But I definitely had that mentality going in. I
could see
Paul's,
it. Where you
Paul's
think
an asshole. I don't want to deal with them. And then got there and it was like completely different.
Nicest guy.
Yeah, he was.
I'm at the point now with Paul where I can call him at midnight.
Okay.
I can text Paul whenever I want.
So would you say he's like a father figure in a sense?
I would
go that far?
I don't ever like to use the word father figure because I'm so close with my father.
Okay.
But
Parental figure?
yeah, sure. He's my wrestling dad.
We'll take it.
No doubt about it. He's my wrestling dad. I'll go to him for anything. I still go to him for as much stuff as I can. If I have a match, I send it right over. It gets put on YouTube, send it right over to Paul.
So I know he has his, perceived heat with the bigger companies, WWE.
Yeah.
In particular, obviously. Do you think that his heat with the company, seeing as you're like,
will prohibit me?
Yeah. Do you think it'll be any kind of effect on you down the road? If you're like, who trained you, kid? Oh, Paul Roma. Ugh.
Well, I used to think that.
Okay.
And I don't know. I would like to believe that if a company thinks that I can be good for them, they're not going to make a decision based upon who trained me.
Okay. Yeah.
So, if they think I can be good, then hopefully they'll take me anyway. Another company picked me up, and obviously there's people there who were in the WWF when Paul was there. So that didn't alter them.
What company was that?
MLW.
That was a recent signing?
That was a recent signing.
Recent signing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
then how long's the contract for?
With them for 3 years.
Nice.
So, not asking for numbers, obviously, but what does a contract for MLW entail? Are you dedicated to only them? Can you wrestle other places, or what?
So I don't want to get too much into like what the details are, but they definitely want me to grow my brand.
Okay.
For sure. They definitely want me to be the biggest star that I could.
Right, and they're running, a lot of TV in New York, at least what I've seen, TV. So we obviously can expect you on those.
Oh, for sure. But I think you can expect me anywhere that they go, especially in 2019.
That's awesome. Who are some of the guys, in MLW that you're looking forward to working with that have signed as well? Or
that I want to get in the ring with?
Other people?
Man, I want to get in the ring with their top guys.
Who would you consider some of their top
I want to
guys?
get in there with Low Key. I want to get in there with.
That's a good one.
Especially after what's going on with him recently. That's
put me in there with him. Put me in there with Rich Swann. Put me in there with. The whole roster is stacked. Get me in there with any of the Heart Foundation, the new Heart Foundation.
Oh,
I would love that. There's so many guys there that I'd love to get in there and tear it up with.
So you said 3 years. After the 3 years, are you looking forward to possibly moving on? Has there been any Japan? Have you ever thought of Japan?
No.
No? Not an interest at all? Don't like the style, or?
I don't know.
Is it something just I guess what about Japan don't you want to go to?
I don't know. I'm not against Japan. I've just it's never been my goal.
Has the goal always been WWE? Obviously?
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
I've never been like, I want to go to Japan, like I need to go to Japan. It's never been like that for me.
So okay, that's fine. With MLW then, what was it like getting signed by them, and what was the feeling? How did it go about? Can you kind of tell us how it transpired, the contract signing? Or
I mean, for the most part, I mean, I did a couple shows for them, both in New York, and then after that, I mean, they pretty much, I would like to think they like what they saw, and then very quick negotiations, and then
simple as that.
It was simple as that, man. You know, I was honored. You know, a company like MLW, I hold them in such a high regard. You know, I think they have a chance to be I think they already are one of the top companies in the world, but I think they have a chance to cement themselves as like one of the big players.
Yeah, and what, BN Network or something, was it?
BN Sports.
BN Sports, that's
Yep.
right. Is that nationwide channel? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's on certain
I don't know if
providers.
I have that.
It's on certain sports packages and things like that, yeah.
I gotta look if I
The
get
internet.
that. The internet, watch it all on the internet, yeah. MLW, so obviously you said the goal is WWE, and as we know, you did do some extra work with them. What was the extra work like, and how did that come about? Was that
Extra work's cool. I mean, you know, it was a good opportunity that got presented to me, and basically what it is, I mean, is you go there and you are an extra.
okay?
You know, so I got to go there, and the catering is amazing. And
Everyone talks about the catering. What was amazing about the catering?
oh
Please
my
tell
God,
us.
they take care of their
What was
athletes.
the spread
That is
at
for
catering?
sure. Oh, they had like salmon, steak, chicken, all the goodies that you could possibly want. But it's really good, man. What a cool environment. You know, and what an honor it is. You know, anybody who gets into wrestling, they want to go to WWE. You know, don't let people say otherwise.
Yeah, I hate when someone says that.
I hate it, dude. Come on, man. If they laid a contract out in front of you, you're gonna say no? I doubt it.
Especially for the money that they can offer and you could eventually make with them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, come on.
Exactly. But like as a young wrestler and a fan, to have the ability to go there and do that was like a dream come true.
Did you like
very small dream come true? You know, I got to technically work for WWE. And anybody who does extra work has
did you
gotten the
apply
ability.
for it, or like isn't there like you can apply
There's a
for it
talent
on
pool.
corporate?
Yeah, there's a talent pool.
And then that's how they found you, or
Yeah.
they? Okay.
So I'm assuming they paid you by check.
Yes.
Did you frame that check as your first WWE check?
I didn't frame the check, but I have the check.
I would too.
I would have framed it.
I would have cashed.
Well,
it.
I have the stub.
You can,
Okay.
I cash a check.
I was gonna say you can cash the check.
I
Even
would've
by
kept the
phone
check.
now, you can cash. The
Yeah,
check. You
exactly.
do it online. With
Yeah,
exactly.
Depending on what bank you have.
Yeah.
Wrestling styles. How did your wrestling style start? How did it evolve over time? Where are you at currently?
You know, everybody who sees me wrestle, they always say that they see a lot of Paul Roma in me. And I guess, I mean, obviously he's my trainer.
Drop kick, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know. Do I have a style? I don't know. I literally get in the ring and I'm like, what's my style? I really have no idea. I just kind of go in there and just do what I think fits the best for me. Like, I wouldn't consider myself, I'm not a brawler. You know, I'm certainly not an aerialist. I'm not a luchador. I'm not a, you know, what other styles are? I'm not really much of like a grappler, to, you know, per se. I just go in there and I do what I think is best for me.
Now, I know I'm going a little behind the curtain, but are you someone who likes to Randy Savage it, where you write and plan everything out, or are you
No.
like, call it's cold in the ring, man? We'll take care of it. Let's go by the crowd.
I think it's important. I'll put it to you this way. I think it's important to give the people the best show that you can possibly give them.
I agree.
And if that means that you have to kind of know what path you're going to go down,
All right.
so be it.
Okay.
And
Fair
if it
enough.
also means that that certain path needs to be altered a bit in the moment, then you need to do that. But I don't know, a lot of people are just, you know, they don't like to know the exact path that they're going down. I think sometimes it could inhibit the best experience that you can give for them. So it's a very, you know, it's a toss of the coin. You know, what's your preference?
Is that something that kind of like Roma instilled in you? I mean, like, call it in the ring, like because that's the
Oh
older
yeah,
school way.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
100%.
Paul gave me the guidance and the knowledge to be able to go in there and call it in the ring. 100%.
I like it.
100%. And to like kind of alter the moment, 100% Paul. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to develop that without him.
What's your thoughts on time limits on matches? You sticking the times, not sticking the times?
Dude, I think if a match is rocking, let it rock.
Yeah. Even
No.
if it's a TV match, like a TV
No,
match,
no,
like
no. If it's TV, stick to your times.
like for instance, I don't know, MLW films their TV. I'm not sure their whole production backstage, but
Yeah.
someone's probably telling you, I guess, yeah, you guys, you've got
Yes,
15 minutes.
Exactly.
You've got 15 minutes.
I
or,
wouldn't even begin to think to alter their time.
and that's even if you think the match is like.
I don't care if the
holy
match is.
shit,
I don't care if this is
should
God's
be
gift to matches.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
7
If they
stars.
give me 7 minutes, that's it. But if we're at a non-televised show and the fans are raucous, dude, let them go. If the match stinks, go get the hell
Yeah, I
out
mean,
of
we've
there.
been on the. I mean, even with
Yeah.
Roma when we did a couple of the live shows, we've had him because we're all mic'd and the refs were mic'd, and we hear Roma like, "Tell him to go home, get him
Yeah.
off now." And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
there's times where he's like, "No, let him go. Don't worry." Or
Yeah.
you know, or like the one show he's like, "If they're not done their times, I will
Ring the
Big
bell.
Jim. Yeah, Big Jim. He's like, "Jim, you run out there and you end this match yourself."
Oh, that's great. He would. Don't mess
like,
with Big Jim.
oh,
He'll go out there
man.
and do that. Yeah, that's my opinion on time limits, man. I mean,
I think it's the same thing. Like if you go to WWE, you better stick to your time. Or
dude,
they probably
they're
won't
literally.
lose
If
you.
it's a television show, they're paying for the television slot by the minute.
You were actually for Raw, right? Not SmackDown.
And SmackDown.
Oh, you did both.
Both,
Okay.
yeah. So
Was there a different dynamic to both shows as far as the backstage? How it was just basically the same.
Raw is more ruckus,
Okay.
and SmackDown is a little bit more laid back. Still very on edge. It's TV,
Right.
but there's less people there too.
Really?
Yeah, there's less people.
Did you? The $1 million question. Did you see Vince or talk to Vince or Triple H
No.
or Stephanie or any of
I
them?
saw Triple H. He walked by on 10 minutes before they went on air on Monday Night Raw. It's definitely not the time to introduce
Yeah.
yourself. Vince didn't see him.
No.
Wish I did.
Were you one of those backstage? Got to shake every single person's hand, or how,
No,
how was
I
it
was-
backstage for you?
I mean, it's
Did people come to you?
Were
Or?
were you told not to specifically? Because we've
Yeah,
heard some stories
yeah,
where people
you're
were told,
defi-
you don't look at anyone, don't talk to anyone, just don't interact, you're here as an extra, and that's it.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to approach it. I mean, they're giving you this opportunity to be back there and be part of it. As small of a part of it as you are, they're giving you that opportunity. I wouldn't step on any toes there.
Did you bring your gear?
Of course.
Of course.
I was
Well,
in,
because we were talking to.
I was in my gear.
You were really?
I was
Oh, that's right. Okay.
In my gear.
'Cause we were talking to like Casey Cattell. She was talking to us. She told us, you know,
I did it with
she,
her.
She was there and she got to have the match with Asuka.
Well, I must have not been there for that one.
No, she had.
No,
she
this is the one down in Maryland.
This is in
You were
Maryland, yeah.
in New Haven?
I was in
Hartford?
I was in Hartford and Providence.
She showed up. She said she showed up. They had her have the match with
Asuka. With
Kristen
Statlander.
Statlander, yeah. And they had him have before the show have a little quick minute match, and then they were like, "You're wrestling Asuka tonight." You know, I mean, I can't imagine how
That's got to be incredible. It's great for her. You know, that's got to be incredible.
So was there any feedback from anybody after you did the extra? Was there like, "Hey, thanks for coming, kid," or
Thanks
was
for
it just
coming.
like,
Thanks for coming.
"We'll see you down the
I
road"?
mean, I was in my gear ready to have a practice match, you know, right outside of the WWE ring. And they ended up saying that, you know, that there wasn't enough time to do it, which happens, you know. I mean, who knows?
I think it'll happen down the road. That's my personal opinion.
Thank you.
I don't.
Well, you know what?
I guess we gotta wait 3 years.
I'm a big, you know, unfortunately.
WWE can buy out contracts.
Didn't hear from me. I'm a big believer that timing's everything.
Yeah.
Everything happens for a reason. I wasn't meant to get in the ring that day. Maybe something would have went wrong. Maybe I wouldn't have had my best showing.
Okay, that's
You
a
know,
good way to look at it.
That's the way you have to look at it.
that's
If you're just bitter all the time, you're just like, man, if I just got in there, I would have got signed right on the spot.
Were they having people just random like, "Hey, you and you get in there"? and-
Nobody got in there.
Oh, nobody did.
Not when I was there.
Not when you were there. Okay.
Nobody got in there to have a practice match. No.
Do you see yourself down the road? Well, obviously you see yourself going to NXT, but how do I word this? What do you think the path to getting into like NXT or WWE will have to be? Do you see yourself having to travel more and work more?
I think,
indies
yeah,
around the world?
I think for me, no, I don't think for me I'm going to have to go around the world. I think for me personally, and this is just my opinion on myself, would be to just develop my name a little bit more.
Okay.
In terms of the actual tools to do it, I think I can go there now.
Okay.
I think I could.
Fair enough.
In terms of, the actual name recognition, no. I mean, I think I need more. I think
So I know there's
where I'm
like
at now is the opportunity that I have now, I think is the best thing for me, for my career.
right. So I know you said before, if WWE is your goal, if you're saying it's not, you're a liar.
Yeah.
But with the All In pay-per-view and Cody and those guys doing their thing, and who knows what they're all elite wrestling that could possibly be happening, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you need still to go to WWE to quote unquote make it?
Well,
like
making it
if
is,
you never went to WWE but you did like the All Elite and all that,
I wouldn't be happy at all.
you wouldn't be happy. Okay, that's good.
I wouldn't be happy at all. Like,
WWE is your
WWE or
100%.
bust.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, it's everything I do is a stepping stone for that. So, but don't get me wrong. I'm also having a lot of fun right now, like with MLW and everything. Like, I love that.
Right.
Like, that's why I signed it. Like, I wouldn't have done it. Like, I'm excited to live in the moment, but that's it. Like, that's
So
where
do
I
you think
wanna
those
be.
guys are just doing it because they can do it and eventually will go back to WWE, or do you think that like they're done and
Which guys?
Cody, Young Bucks, guys like that? Young Bucks have never been in WWE.
Young
right?
Bucks never went. They were in TNA.
Yeah. I mean, my personal opinion, they'll probably all be there.
Yeah, I think so too. Go back.
Why not?
I mean, they're making
So much
money,
money
hand over fist
outside.
right now.
I guess
It's kinda
that's
like
why they don't.
They'll be taking a pay cut to go to WWE.
But like he says, I mean, you take the pay cut. Does that really mean?
Do they take a pay cut? I don't know. I
Would
don't.
they?
I don't see their W-2s.
Yeah, they would definitely take a pay cut between all their deals with Funko, LJN now, Hot Topic, Pro Wrestling Tees. Like their T-shirts are the #1 selling T-shirt on Pro Wrestling Tees by far. All their stuff.
But like they're indie.
But how
like,
many T-shirts?
stars.
How many T-shirts would get sold on WWE Shop? What percentage would they get of that? You don't know. There's a much larger audience.
They would get a smaller percentage of merch sales versus
But it's a smaller percentage of more sales.
Exactly.
equal
It's
like
to
a smaller
what-
piece of a bigger pie.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Kind of like Shark Tank. You ever watch Shark Tank?
Huge fan of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Shark Tank.
Huge fan of the show.
You know,
For those reasons, I'm out. I don't know.
you're
I
dead
think,
to me. Yeah,
I think where they are currently, I think they're doing better now than they would because
But can they ever say they, like you said, can they ever say they made it?
I think they could say they made
They
it based
could.
on- absolutely.
They could, because everybody has a different perception of what making it is.
Right.
You know, like
enough.
I think. So yes, I do think that everybody's goal is to go to WWE. Everybody wants to see their name in that marquee.
Of course. Why wouldn't you want to walk up to a
Everybody.
80,000 seat football
Yeah.
stadium
Everybody
and
wants,
see your giant
everybody
picture,
wants to
like,
work WrestleMania.
Like how could you not
Everybody.
want
You
to?
tell me one pro wrestler doesn't want to wrestle at WrestleMania.
They're lying.
They're
Yeah, no,
lying.
I agree with that 100%.
So that's what I mean by saying that everybody's goal is WWE. That's what I mean. I don't mean that like everybody wants to work 300 days a year, or everybody wants to, go to do everything that they do.
Right.
But at some point they would like to be there. So if it's this big of a goal or this big of a goal, it's still a goal.
right.
That's what I mean by
And
that.
it's all about timing, like you said. Again,
Yeah.
maybe this isn't their time. Maybe their contracts are all up. Maybe it's not their time. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But anyway, let's transition a little bit outside of the ring. What does Mr. Holliday do? What's your
Man.
daily life?
Things I just love to do. I mean,
Yeah, you
like
do
obviously,
video games?
no.
No video games. Never.
I used to.
Even retro, like
No,
No?
I play
those are all
zero
coming back.
video games. I don't want to buy a system.
2K19, you're not gonna make yourself in it?
No, I don't want to buy a system.
I think someone already made them.
Probably, yeah.
Somebody messaged me the other day and they were like, "Hey man, send me a picture of you, in your gear, and I'll make you." I was like, "Dude, don't even make me. I don't even care." What are my biggest interests besides like going to the gym and like working out? Like those are like
Yeah, like
everybody's
outside
interests.
of, like,
outside of that, like I love coffee. It's like I consider it a guilty pleasure. I had a conversation with somebody the other day. I was like, well, I'm really into coffee art. Mm-hmm. So
Can
I'm
you
really.
explain that to me? Can I, before we go in my whole life, I've had 2 sips of coffee, and I hate it. I just can't drink coffee. I don't know why. I don't drink
Alright,
coffee
so
in the morning.
Your whole life has not been lived to its max potential.
Please maximize it
Right.
and help me here. What is coffee art? What is
Coffee art is literal art in coffee. Like, I went today, literally today, I went to a nice coffee shop, sat down. I like that. I like to sit in a coffee shop and just soak in the ambiance.
Are you talking about like Starbucks, Dunkin'
No,
Donuts coffee?
local.
Or are you talking, okay,
a
so
local shop,
small,
like a boutique shop.
yeah.
okay.
I went to a place called Rebel Dog Coffee.
Shout out.
Shout out to Rebel Dog. They're great. And I got a nice cortado. So
What is that?
so there's different.
School me on your
so
elegance
there's
here,
different.
'cause-
So there's different style. There's different types of coffee. And anytime you see a to-go cup, you never really know what's in it, right? So this was a latte,
Okay.
which is espresso and steamed milk.
Okay.
Then there's cappuccino, which is also espresso and steamed milk, but the ratios are different. Then there's a cortado. Cortado is usually served, if they do it right, I've had really bad ones, but when they do it right, it comes in a nice little shot glass,
Okay.
right? And you can see the ratios of espresso to steamed milk.
So like you see like lighter, darker. Like
Yes, you see the
shades?
dark on the
Okay.
bottom and the lighter on the top, and they can do some art. So I did XWA
Yep.
a couple weekends ago, and I had some time to kill in Providence, so I went to a local shop, and I got a latte there, but they put a literal dog. They made the foam look like an actual dog.
Like 3D or with just the coffee, putting it in and everything?
Maybe if I looked like this, it might have been a little 3D, but for the most part, like it was a dog. I was just like, I don't want to drink this. I want to just take a picture of it, and I did.
You did, right? Instagram.
So traditionally for coffee art, they'll do the
Looks like
leaf,
looks like
or
a
the
leaf.
tree.
Yep.
So they do the swirl and then the right through
Yep.
the middle. Some people do faces. They'll do like zombie lattes, 2 dots and then the line across. He's giving you.
The actual picture that he took.
Yeah.
Oh,
There it is.
we're gonna put that up. You probably can't see it, but
Show the world.
that's what they did for you. That's interesting.
Isn't that cool?
That's
So
Yeah, there's places that actually do. You can get printed. I don't know if you ever saw this.
So-
They can print stuff on the
Really?
steam milk.
But is
really
on the foam.
I didn't know that.
Let me like. Is it like a magic trick where they just like press something onto it?
No,
Or
no, no.
somebody's literally
that's an art
drawing.
form. They actually have to sit there and pour it
these
in.
baristas are skilled.
Yeah.
So, how long are you waiting for your coffee? This isn't
Oh, I
like
don't
in
care.
the morning. Like
No, this isn't-
I gotta
No,
go
this
to
isn't like, I
work.
gotta
Give me
rush.
my
No,
Dunkin'
no, no,
Donuts
no, no.
$3
This is like I'm
coffee.
gonna sit there and
No.
enjoy this. Like if you go for like a wet shave
Okay.
and they pull out a straight razor and everything, you know you're not going there for your 30-second shave.
Right.
You're gonna sit there and enjoy that, and it's gonna be a whole experience.
Yeah.
So you sit there, relax, and enjoy that cup of coffee.
Coffee to me is an experience. So I like to go in there and just relax, think about things. You know, if I got something to do, I'll do it. But yeah, I'll get an espresso or a cortado.
Can you do the art or no?
No, God, no. I do want to learn.
Are there classes like Groupon, like where you can make like
There are
paint?
there are like hipster shops that
There
do
are,
classes
okay.
on how to do it.
Is that in like Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Okay.
I bet you Brooklyn has some really, really great shops.
So like, when you're traveling show to show, this is something.
That's
you
my
do,
thing.
You
Now,
go-
when you get a show, when you get a new booking in a new area, is that one of the first things you look
I
for?
make it a point. I make it a point to go and I try to see the world through coffee. And I would, at one point in my life,
good
like to
tagline.
have a Food Channel show called Seeing the World Through Coffee. So, eventually. So, that's what I like to do. So,
You
like,
just call up Guy Fieri and
dude, dude, I'll tell you what, Guy Fieri has a shop near him in South Bend that was just phenomenal. So, like, I have a spot in South Bend that next time I go, I'm definitely going to roll through there because their coffee is amazing.
Is there a specific coffee shop you'd like to shout out as the best coffee you've had? That's somewhere that you're
Man,
like.
I
oh,
will
man.
say this. So, are you guys familiar with Barstool Sports?
yes, they do
He
the
probably
pizza.
is.
Yeah. You a Portnoy guy?
No.
Portnoy? Okay, so he does the pizza reviews.
Yeah.
And he actually just
Oh,
came.
I know what you're talking
He just
about,
came
yes.
to New
I
Haven
know.
and he was just like, I heard New Haven has some of the best pizza in the country, and you know he went there and it was amazing. I'm gonna say this. It does. I'm gonna say this right now. I think New Haven.
I'm from New York. It's not no.
Oh, here we go. People from New York.
New Jersey has the best pizza.
New York, here's New Jersey. You guys think just
This place called Plaza Pizza.
No.
Try it. Anyway,
That's
let's
such a
go.
generic name. It's incredible. Plaza Pizza? I mean,
shit.
like,
Lombardi's.
No, Lombardi.
Lombardi's, New York City, is the godfather of pizza. I don't care what anyone says.
There's some good New York
that sounds
pizza.
pretty good.
I do have, yeah.
But listen,
Oldest pizza place in the country.
Portnoy came to New Haven. He gave an 8.8 to Modern, which, if you're familiar with his scale, is very, very high.
Okay.
Pizza's phenomenal. Next time you guys come to PAPW, we'll go out and we'll get pizza downtown New Haven.
You heard it. Everyone heard
I
it. here.
digress. I digress.
What time are they open till?
I think New Haven has some of the best coffee shops. Like in like a small area, like the volume of coffee shops. What's that per capita? Mm-hmm. The coffee shops per capita is phenomenal. And if I had to shout out one place, I would probably shout out a place called Mason and Mathis. It's a Belgium coffee shop.
Wow.
And it is phenomenal. You can get the fluffiest Belgian waffle you've ever had with a nice cortado, and all your worries will be taken away.
Is cortado your favorite kind of coffee?
That's
or
my
is there-
go-to.
That's your go-to?
That's my go-to.
Do you judge places based on how they make it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. I went to a new coffee shop a couple weeks ago, just opened up. Very cool vibe, ambiance was awesome. Went in there, ordered a cortado, and they literally gave me espresso. It was just black espresso. And I was just like,
You throw it in their face
I'll
and
never,
walk
I'll
out?
just never come back.
You still drink it?
I drank it, yeah.
You drink it, yeah.
I just chugged it down.
How much sugar do you put in it?
None. As is. Give me the cortado as is. I don't do dairy,
Okay.
so I usually get oat milk.
I was going to say, I stomach can't have regular dairy, so.
I do oat milk. Today I had a hemp
I don't think I've ever
milk.
had oat milk.
Oat, hemp, soy,
Soy milk.
almond.
I get almond milk
Coconut.
all the time. Almond milk. actually
Coconut's
all
very
the time.
watery, so you can't really get
Yeah.
you can't really get the art.
Can't get the foam right.
Yeah. Same for almond milk.
I
Almond
used to work
milk's
at Starbucks.
I can't believe this is a thing.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You never worked at a coffee shop?
Never.
Never.
No.
Want to?
I don't want to work there. I want to own
You
one.
want to own one? Is that the future plan after WWE?
Absolutely.
After
Yeah.
the world is over?
Yeah, that's the future plan.
60-year-old Richard Holliday wants a.
Yeah, maybe 40-year-old
Maybe
Richard Holliday. Yeah, I really want to own one.
In New Haven or?
No, I think, like I said, I mean, we'll see how
we'll see
many of
where
them
the world
last.
takes you, right?
Yeah, but I mean, maybe New Haven, man. I love New Haven. There's so much there. It's got a really nice vibe to it. But like I said, there's so many per capita down there that I don't know how it would do.
Yeah.
But that's the goal. Yeah, I want to open up a coffee shop.
What would you call it? You have a name for it yet?
I have a couple
I
names.
guess we shouldn't spoil it because someone might steal it.
No, I'm really,
Before you get to 40.
I'm really into,
Leave it out.
I'm into names that are like one word.
Okay.
So like, there's a coffee shop in New Haven called Fussy Coffee. Like, what the hell does fussy mean? I have no idea, but I like it.
Fussy coffee.
What was the? I had a name the other day. I came up with for this coffee. Oh, I think it was Euro.
Okay.
Just Euro.
Euro?
There's a popular company that does coffee rentals called Euro Bar.
Ah, crap. Man, that was gone.
That's all right. Maybe they
was
won't
good.
be around when he's ready to open his shop and the trademark
They're like
will
the
have
largest
expired and
rental
he-
company in the area.
Well, you know
trying
what?
to give some
there
hope
there
here,
are
Paul.
plenty there are plenty of words out
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
You'll find a coffee.
The English
coffee
dictionary
name.
that I'll come up with a name.
Anything else besides coffee? Advocate for coffee? Apparently? I gotta start drinking coffee. Apparently,
I mean, like, so much of my time goes into like
wrestling. And
preparing for wrestling that like,
TV shows, movies, anything?
oh yeah, big yeah.
What's your
big
TV
time.
show?
Right now?
Yeah. What's a go-to?
Riverdale.
Riverdale. My wife loves that show. We have finished half of season 2. We're not.
Love
so don't
Riverdale.
Spoil it for me, all right?
I won't. Can't get enough of it. Was really into Stranger Things when that was
Okay.
hot.
Yeah, they've taken a while to come out with season 3. I think that's. I
Yeah,
think
that's not coming out till next October.
Yeah, I think that's killing. I think that's what's killing it.
Big Netflix guy. They're
Big
taking
guy,
off
son of a-
Friends.
What is it?
Netflix is taking off Friends. Whatever.
I know. That's
Never
the
saw
end
an
of the
episode
month.
of Friends.
You've never seen Friends?
You never
How
drink
you
coffee.
doing? I never seen.
You never watch Friends. Who am I
We're
hanging
a
out with
mess.
right
I
now,
was
guys?
busy watching wrestling instead of watching Friends.
Where am
I mean, jeez.
Yeah, come on. It's Friends.
Yeah, but it was like during that time. So during that era, that late '90s, early 2000s, and everything, it was WWF, WCW, ECW, Wrestling Society X.
Too much wrestling to watch Friends?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's never too much watch.
Well, now there's
Plus-
so much
plus tape-
wrestling
plus
that
tape trading.
Now it's-
So I was one of the kids that was tape trader. So I would go online and start.
I never
messaging
knew what
people
that meant. What does that mean?
So
To
tape
trade
trading
tapes?
is like
VHS
I have.
tapes?
You just literally trade the tapes?
Yeah.
Hey, watch this and I'll watch
So
this.
what I would do is I would have a tape collection. So I have it somewhere like in storage. So it's literally thousands of tapes. So I would have the death match between Cactus and Terry Funk, like their big exploding ring death match. I would get that event, make a copy of it, and then either sell it or trade it to other people. So I would have the original, and then I would sell it or trade it to other people, and then if they had something that was on my list, I would give them something that they wanted.
And we would have in like AIM chat
because
rooms,
there was no, I didn't have
AOL
YouTube. I couldn't
AIM
just
chat
get
rooms.
on.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
VHS
never
tapes.
participated in this world.
I mean, now it's not really needed because you have streaming, you have YouTube, you have all that.
Now
so
it's absolutely not needed.
Yeah.
Why would you? That serves no purpose. So,
Well, I guess you could trade logins, right? Hey, give me your login for that streaming. I'll give you for this one. Right? I never said that.
it happens. Movies? Any kind of movies? What do you go to movies or?
You know, I don't
Kinda
go to
like
the, I don't go to the movies as often as I should. I'm not a movie buff.
Okay.
But like, hey, everybody likes movies. So like,
Any particular?
I'm more into
horror, drama, action,
romantic comedies.
I love romantic
romantic
comedies.
comedies.
But I think I'm more into just like my comedies with my one-liners.
I think Steve Big Daddy just messaged all of us. I bet you anything. We're on this like group mass text, right?
Big Daddy is Rick,
Yep.
not Steve. And we're going to keep that in there just so. What, did he steal the photos?
How did he do that?
He took those pictures.
Oh. Cut that out. Romantic comedies, okay? Romantic comedies.
Well, I mean, I'm more like if in terms of movies, like give me the Dodgeballs of the world, the Step Brothers of the world, the Anchormans.
Yep.
Those are probably more my genre. But then like obviously I love like really good movies like
The Notebook.
like The Notebook, like The Departed.
The part is good.
You know, Bronx Tales, probably one of my favorite of all time. There's so many.
So
Titanic.
when you're traveling, are you traveling alone to the shows?
I do a
or
lot of traveling alone.
alone?
I do
So-
too much
I
traveling
was gonna say
alone.
because when you're in the car or something, you watch something. On your
Yeah,
phone,
I mean-
Netflix. 'Cause nowadays you could just pop Netflix on your phone or Hulu, whatever you have, and
Yeah, good.
easily watch any movie.
Not
But-
while you're driving, though.
That's why I said, are you driving alone or are you driving with somebody?
I mean,
But
yeah,
you say he's
like
driving alone
Connecticut
most
really
of the
isn't like, there's not too many guys coming out of my area, so it's not really easy for me to just hop in a car and go. I do most of my traveling alone.
time. Okay. So, I mean, I
lonely
guess we'll
road.
go. You said you got your start in PAPW. Who's some of the guys in PAPW that you kind of helped build that company with and got you? You know, they're some of your favorite opponents from PAPW. Let's just
Matthias.
simplify. Matthias.
Matthias is my favorite opponent from PAPW.
I don't think I've ever seen.
We
So
did one in May for like some spot show like 2 years ago, but he's been hurt for for quite some time now. When he gets back, it's going to be great. I
Yeah.
can't wait to get in the ring when he comes back.
Okay. So PAPW, you're going down. You're obviously building your name up with them. They put the strap on you. They put the world title on you.
Yeah.
What was that day like? And who did you
I beat Matthias for the
beat Matthias.
vacant title
vacant? Okay.
with
So
Paul
you
Roma
were
as
the
special
first-
guest referee.
First world champion for them?
No,
Or-
Paul was.
Paul was. Okay.
And then Paul vacated it, and then it went to me. And I had the title for like 420 days.
And that was against Matthias.
I had a punk run. Yeah,
You had a punk.
I had a punk run.
See.
CZW is where you had your match with Matthias, or one of your matches with Matthias.
Oh yeah, at a Dojo War, yeah. Yep.
What was that
death
experience
match,
like?
right?
No, it wasn't a death.
I liked it. You know, I went in there. I was a lot younger then, but
And this was the old location, small warehouse space.
yeah, yep. They treated me well. So I mean, it was a really I don't want to say a quick experience, but like the drive took a long time, and we got there a little
South
late.
Jersey, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we got there
it's
pretty
almost
late.
Philly.
We got there pretty late. We kind of just had the match, hung out for a little bit, and then got in the car. Nothing negative. Just it wasn't like an over the top experience.
Right.
Well, CZW is predominantly a deathmatch company, right? I mean, I know they're trying
were.
to change the
They're trying to-
perception.
yeah, they're
but when
trying
he
to
did
change
that
that
match,
now.
they were perceived.
It was
as that.
last year. It was,
Was it?
May of last year.
Okay. So did you know of their history going into a company like that? And were you
Yeah.
like, these fans are going to want to see me take a barbed wire bat to someone? Or
Well,
were you like,
I
"Nah,
knew at the Dojo Wars that they weren't going to be
Okay.
doing anything like that. So no, I never went in there thinking like that.
So Dojo Wars are like their school shows. So it's kind of like PPW Alley Fights.
Yeah.
Where it's
Okay.
just $5 entry, come in. It's going to be a student show pretty much, or it's going to be something where they can showcase talent or kind of get a look at talent to come work for them full time.
Yeah.
So we jumped off, but PAPW, you had the title, you know, your CM Punk run. You lose it. to
Showtime Marcel Williams. Is there heat between you guys?
Me and Marcel?
Yeah.
I don't think so. No. I will say this, I don't think that we're the closest of friends. There definitely was like a little bit of, if you want to call it heat, because I started realizing that there's more out there than PAPW. And I had conversations with Paul and Mario behind the scenes. And I said, guys, listen, I'm ready to kind of branch out, spread my wings a little bit, because I want to grow. I signed up to be a professional wrestler of many different avenues, not just one. So I think that a lot of the guys there who weren't traveling or really getting out there and trying to brand themselves as much as I was, that could rub them the wrong way. Because now if I can't make a PAPW show, now I'm the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy, I'm trying to build my brand.
Of course.
So I think a lot of people were kind of like, you know, he's
Ruffled?
he's not fully committed to us and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, I'm fully committed to Richard Holliday. I'm fully committed to getting to where I need to be. And look at where it's taken me.
Right.
Absolutely.
So,
Do you think he was the right person to lose to and transition the title over on your way out? You know, you're not out fully, but, you know,
Yeah.
as world champion. Do you think is there someone else you would have rather have taken the, you know, the 1, 2, 3, 4 and been
No.
more at least looked happy in the back after that happened?
I mean, you know, the PAPW roster, to me, I would like to see them want to be better. I would like to see them want to be the best that they can be. And, you know, there was times where I felt like I was the only one who really wanted to be the best. So, in terms of losing the title to Marcel, yeah, I was more than happy.
There was no like,
No, not at all.
never like, that's not for me, pal.
No, no, and I'm not that type of guy.
I was going to ask if wins and losses matter to you at all.
No, I'm not that type of guy. So yeah, and he's done really a lot of work behind the scenes.
Okay.
Where now I also don't think that behind the scenes work warrants on screen
That was my next question.
Achievements?
on screen achievements. I'm not that kind of guy who's like, oh, you've done so much backstage, I'm gonna make you this.
Right.
When you're not this. And I'm not talking about anybody in specific. I'm just saying, just in general, that theory, I'm not fully supportive of that. I think, you know, I think the best quarterback should start at quarterback.
Yep.
Not the guy who's in the film room the most.
Right.
If he's not the best, he's not the best.
100%.
With that being said, he really did put in a lot of effort backstage, and he does care about the prosperity of PAPW, and he's been doing it a long time, man. He's a good wrestler,
Absolutely.
you know. So yeah, I mean, I think he can work on some character stuff. I think he can work on some charisma stuff.
I feel like that's most indie guys. I feel like that's where they lack.
Yeah, I mean, but in terms of Marcel, I don't think there's any heat. No, at least not on my end.
Top 3 to 5 guys you enjoy working with anywhere.
JT.
I was gonna say JT Don. You guys have.
What is it about JT that
He just
my
pulls it
God.
out of me, man. He just pulls the best out of me, and I've learned so much from getting in the ring with him. He's good. He really is. He's that good. Teddy Goods.
Okay.
Love getting in the ring with Teddy. He is my most fun. There's moments where I'm wrestling Teddy where I have to put my face in the mat. I'm laughing so hard. I love wrestling Teddy. I've only been in the ring with him twice, but I really have a good flow, I think, with Anthony Green.
So now, Anthony, you wrestled at Mohegan?
I wrestled him at Mohegan, and I've wrestled him in ECWA.
ECW Super 8.
In the Super 8, yep.
So now, Super 8, because we'll just segue into that. The Super 8, what was it like getting the invite for Super 8?
I was really honored. I wasn't really honored until I did the research, though.
So now, I was going to ask if you knew about it going into, but like before.
Kind of. Not over the top.
Okay.
Like, I definitely heard of it, and then once I went on Wikipedia and kind of saw who was in it, I was like, oh, wow, okay, I guess it's a
Who's
pretty
who
big
of-
tournament.
yeah.
And then when it finally clicked that you were the one winning it?
I was like, wow, okay. You know, we all kind of suspected like who it could be and who it was going to be, and I didn't really suspect me, you know, because I was just kind of like, all right, you know, I'm young, I'm coming up. This is more of a rub than that. But then the stars just kind of aligned, and it kind of worked out in my favor. And I'm very appreciative of my time at that tournament. You know, I mean, it was pulled a lot out of me.
Right.
It was very rugged. I mean, 3 matches against really good opponents, and especially Chase Owens. I went like 20 minutes with Chase Owens.
Who were your 3 opponents?
Bolt Brady, Anthony Green, Chase Owens.
I thought Mike Law was going to win it all. Mike
A lot
Law's
of people
been
did.
he was a ECWA guy for a long time. He was their champ for a long time. Just lost it.
Yep.
I thought he was going to take it all the way.
Yeah. A lot of people did. He was probably the betting favorite. I don't know where I was in terms of the odds, but sorry, Mike. I love you, Mike, but you know, maybe next year.
What's some other, you know, I know you work for numerous companies, but what's some other companies that people can see you at or have seen you at that you work in?
Well, some companies that I really, really love working at are Chaotic Wrestling,
Okay.
XWA, Extreme Wrestling Alliance,
XWA.
Wrestling Has It Tomorrow. You know,
That's the company with everyone's at the ring, right?
Yeah.
How's that experience like? Is there not
it's
away
different.
from it?
It's really different because I'm very
and no one's
much.
trying to like trip you. Or?
I'm very much like under the you know impression that I think they should be farther away. But it's definitely an interesting dynamic, you know, to have them right there.
So,
I'm a fan of the separation of
I'm a total
talent
fan.
and fans.
Yeah.
I am too. It's a weird.
But man,
Yeah.
great shows.
Yeah.
Wrestling Has Tomorrow gives it to the fans. You know, they give them some awesome matchups, fresh matchups. They bring in different guys. They're doing a really good job there. I'm happy to be part of that roster.
Okay. Anyone other companies? Are you traveling West Coast yet, or have you gotten over there?
Not yet.
Going there. Plans?
Could be. Yeah, there could be some plans.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go as far as
Pro
I
Wrestling
can.
Gorilla.
I would love
Looking for
that. I
that,
think I got to
yeah.
build my name up a little bit. Maybe a couple years at MLW, and I'll be at PWG. But
Impact.
possibly.
I hope so.
They're looking for people.
I don't know what other places am I at? I do like Wrestlers Lab. A lot of the New York feds when they run like Battle Club Innovative, things like that. I see you guys there.
Bree, we were at.
Bree at BCW.
You had a great match with Azrael.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite matches.
That was you came out to dead silence, and I was just kind of laughing to myself, going, "They have no idea what's coming."
Yep.
And then the match happens, and you hit the drop kick where he was doing the springboard off the top rope. Hit the drop kick, and the crowd went nuts, and the crowd loved you from that point on.
Yep. Yeah,
Absolutely
I
fantastic
remember.
to watch that build and
Yeah.
crescendo and
I loved that match. I loved that night. I loved coming out to the "Who Are You" chants.
Who are? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
We were like, it's
Yeah.
the most marketable man. What do
Yeah.
you mean you don't know
Give-
who he
give-
is?
come on.
And now he's been in the business a long time as well.
Azrael?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. Very willing. Really did a lot for me that match. So, hats off to Azrael, man. I'd love to get in the ring with him again. Do you guys remember the Burger King guy from that show?
Yes.
The Burger King fan? Dude, I roasted him.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
really
remember
roasted that guy.
We have that on footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could show that right
We're
now.
gonna cut that into this.
I roasted that guy. He was trying, we did the get in the ring
dick.
thing. Like, come on, dude.
So I have my last question because I guess we're coming towards the end here. But the most marketable man, where did that whole moniker come? The whole gimmick? How'd you come up with that? Was it given to you? Did you do it all?
I did it all, and I have a degree in marketing.
Okay.
So that's a real thing. So, you know, I just started thinking about
That's interesting.
who I think I am in wrestling, what I think I do, my presentation, and I have the knowledge. And then I just thought to myself, well, all wrestling is marketing. That's all it is. And
And you just came
I
up-
think I am the most marketable man in wrestling.
Did you Google to make sure no little man and then that in some
Yeah.
random place?
I think
was
I might
trying
have
to-
Googled
was
it.
trying to use that name.
I Googled it, and
I've never heard it before.
Yeah, and I
can
mean,
tell you that.
but that's true.
And it's crazy.
I believe it. I think in terms of what wrestling is,
fits.
in terms of if you had to pick one person to market a company, with no risk, I would say that I believe it. Are there other guys? Yeah, sure. Maybe, but they didn't think of it. I did.
So where can your fans find you on social media?
At Most Marketable. That is on Instagram and Twitter. Facebook is blah. So, follow me on both platforms. I'm very active. I try to do as much as I can on them.
Q&As and everything on the road?
Yeah, I love doing Q&As on the road. They're fun. Instagram has made Q&As fun because now you can do like the picture Q&As.
Yep.
Kind of, where it's ask me a question and then you could answer like with a picture and then write whatever you want to write. So yeah, I do those from time to time. I did one the other night.
There you go, folks.
So now, before we go,
we do have one thing.
we have a tradition here.
Usually we'd have the lyrics on the screen. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe we can put it on the big screen.
I would love to be able to connect to that.
Guys,
So-
I don't know. What are you making me do?
It is the holiday season, and most of the time, on every single show, we have our guest do a karaoke session. So, Mr. Holiday, being the Christmas time, holiday season. Let me rephrase that: holiday season. We think you should do a holiday theme song. Since this is a holiday themed show.
Okay.
With Richard Holiday.
I mean, I think we should do a Christmas song.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you got?
Man, I'm more of a classic kind of guy.
Oh, I can see that. Can you hear it?
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. I'm good.
Yeah.
Just like the ones I used to know. You guys didn't expect this.
I did.
The treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. Sing with me. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for Conversations. Mr. Holiday, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Most marketable man, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
And have a marketable Christmas.
Happy holidays.